Boom goes the dynamite. Yeah, the mic's on this time. Stop getting surprised by events we warned you about. Told you we was going to shock you. Coming to you this week. And this is probably the latest that we've ever been on for the show.
Probably.
It's late in most of the places where you guys are watching this from. And don't be confused. Yes, I know it said Sundays on the intro, but it's playoffs. We're doing it again. We got to recap what's happened so far in the last 16 games, I think, that we played so far. We got one going on right now between Houston and Golden State. So I think it's going to wrap up the second game for just about everyone for this opening round of the NBA playoffs. Rico, good evening.
Yes.
All right, D. Yep. And then we got our resident hater, Deontay.
Man, about to be reeling right now.
Always be a resident hater of the Lakers. So, but good evening to you too, gentlemen.
All right.
Ain't you in Boston right now, D?
Oh yes, I was. It was a glorious game.
Were you there for the marathon?
What was that?
Were you there for the marathon?
No, sir, I was not.
Okay. Yeah, Carlton Joe's supposed to be coming on here. He said he might be still up. So if he pops on here for a second or two, maybe Icky, then we'll pop him in here too. Y'all. Okay, so nitty gritty. I know it's late for y'all. We got to get into this. So we get everyone up to date. Get your thoughts out there on some of these series that you've been watching so far. D, I know you got a lot to say about couple things. Actually, you got a couple irons burning, man. You got the series against Orlando, so we got to get into that. I want to start off the show real quick. Just get everyone up to date. If you guys have been paying attention, there have been season awards that have been handed out, 2 so far. First of all, just today announced Jalen Brunson, Clutch Player of the Year. We did not vote on Clutch Player of the Year because, I mean, the definition and the stats kind of change what it means for us. But I just want to get you guys' quick thoughts on that. Deontay, I know that you got some things to say about Brunson overall as a player, but the thoughts into that as far as him being Clutch Player of the Year.
I mean, like I said, I don't really have too much anything on Brunson. I mean, I think he's a good player, you know. And with that being said, I mean, I can't really think of anybody else who could have deserved it, to be honest. I mean, hey, good for Brunson. You know, he's one of the best guards in the East right now. So I can't really hate on him for getting that award. So
it's such a random award too. Like
it is.
Like the way that they determine what clutch is, the shots made within like the last 2 minutes and efficiency and all that stuff. It's just so random. Rico, what you got any thoughts on it, man?
I mean, I pulled up the voting for it just because I was looking at what the disparity was.
All right, let's take a look.
Brunson got the most first place votes, 70 of them. Jokic was second overall, and then Ant was third.
Jokic was second overall.
Like I give you the breakdown. I give you a breakdown, and
All
this
right, go
is
ahead.
somewhat telling. Brunson, Jokic, and that's the top three. Trey Young was 4.
Mm,
Steph was 5.
mm,
Darius Garland was 6. Ron got some votes at 7. SGA was 8.
mm.
Spider Mitchell was 9. Kyrie was 10, even though he got hurt towards the end of the season. And then to round out, you got Tyrese and Tatum, who got 1 third place vote, which I'm not gonna sit here and poo-poo on Tatum. He is a hell of a player, but I feel like he don't necessarily get the necessary appreciation that he's supposed to. But
That's a different topic for a different time.
Yeah, I don't think I'm not gonna sit here and spill any milk over who did or did not get this. This award is very new,
Mm-hmm.
and with anything new, they're gonna figure it out. But at the,
because the voting is weird.
I know the beginning and end of it, we'll be able to talk to. I mean, we'll be able to interact with some of the writers who have votes. We'll be able to interact with them, but we'll figure that part out later on during the summer or something like that. Go back and ask them. But we also have just yesterday handed out 6th man of the year, Peyton Pritchard, Deontay. This is all you, man. I mean, talk your stuff, man. Give it to us, man, because I think that heavily aligned with a lot of our votes. So talk to us about it.
Oh my goodness, it feels so enthralling when one of my Celtics wins a player like well, excuse me, let me rephrase that, a prestigious award like 6th man of the year, right? And I mean, I can just sit here and go on and on about how Peyton Pritchard just absolutely, I mean, he is pretty much one of the catalysts for as to why this team is the way it is, right? Coming off of the bench, he can provide valuable. He provides valuable minutes. I mean, looking at his regular season stats, right? He averages 14, 4, and 4, right? However, it's just the way that we use him, especially coming off the bench. He's one of those guys right now in the league where if you get him off the bench, he's going to play at least 28 to 30 minutes tops, and he'll give you a pretty decent outing every single time he comes off of the bench, right?
Mm-hmm.
And even in times where he's asked to, step up and be the starter, for example, against, I believe it was against the Spurs, I believe, where he had that 40-point game besides, right alongside Derek White.
Yep.
Yes, even though it's the Spurs, it is what it is. Doesn't matter the opponent. If you're being called off of the bench and you're saying, hey, you're going to be the starting point guard, can you do this for me? And Peyton Pritchard just proved that he absolutely can do that.
Facts.
I mean, like I said, basketball, it's an 82 game season, right? If you 9 times out of 10, if you call on Peyton Pritchard, he's going to get the job done. And that's what got him that 6th man of the year award. I'm not dismissing any other candidates, but I don't know, maybe it's just my biased Celtic opinion, but from what I've seen from Peyton Pritchard and from the contract that he's playing under right now, when he first signed that contract, I believe it was 4 years, 30 million, people laughed at it. I don't know why people laughed at it. Is because, Peyton Pritchard, he doesn't really do anything. Well, this season just showed you why he is an integral part of the Celtics organization. So, with that being said, I couldn't be any more happier for my guy Peyton Pritchard, and like I said, I I hope he stays with us long term. So as with everybody else. So
as long as the bill gets paid, because it wasn't that they was laughing the fact that he got all that money, is the fact that you paid another dude. Y'all got like almost $1 billion in payroll on 6 dudes.
On 6 different people. Yep.
Now you putting Brooklyn to shame when they did that Remember, it was KG, Paul Pierce,
And Ray out.
Ray Allen, and then who were we just talking about not too long ago? The other guard that they took from Utah,
Darren Williams.
Darren Williams. That was your bank right there. And then you had, I don't want to say scrubs, but like, who do you have? Gerald Wallace, I think, was on part of that team or something like that.
Crash. Yep.
Dang, man, like I had no, they had nobody. I mean, you guys got people. Don't get me wrong. I mean, you got Al Horford, who could retire at any year if he really wanted to, but I think he just enjoys being a part of winning championships. Kristaps Porzingis,
He enjoys the culture. He enjoys winning, and I can't blame him for that.
KP got what he wanted, what he needed. He went and got part of a winning culture and a winning team. You got, I mean, you guys have gone through big man after big man after big man, and none of them really worked out from Robert Woods.
Robert Williams.
Sorry, yeah. Thank you for that. I'm trying to think of. You had two other just big men that just it really didn't work out. And
yeah, I mean, you're right. We did have Taco Fall for a bit, but even he was tall. I will say that, but it's just athleticism is very important. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the height. If you're an athletic big, then I need you to play like an athletic big. There's no ifs, ands, or buts.
Yep. And I think it's just hard to keep that pace with the way that Boston was shooting the three ball or the pace that they were pushing the ball. I just don't think that's why Marcus Smart kind of fell behind, even in that defensive player of the year season.
Mm-hmm.
But enough about your team and the way that they are just putting. Okay, Rico, you said it in the chat. Someone get Paolo some help, but
I mean, what can he do? Jalen Suggs is out for the year. I mean, it's nothing he can do.
I said
no. We talked about it earlier though too.
Yeah, it's just all right. So when Paolo went out early on in the season, you could see the trajectory of where the team was going to be ranked, but the issue was never if Orlando could make playoffs or how good Paolo was going to be. It was that the addition of KCP, that some of the changes with some of the players and getting that first time experience for a lot of those players in the playoffs, that change how they were going to execute against the better teams. And you're seeing it. Guys, can you shoot? Can you make a bucket, please? Give me a layup. Anthony Black, please. Please, somebody.
Paolo out there tonight was basically that one Kevin Hart meme gif. I don't even have to say what it is. You just know what you know what it is. Help me. That's all I'm gonna say. That's what that was.
I don't know. The series right now is 2-0. I mean, I don't know. I mean, the way that the series is going right now might be a sweep, and just because there's not enough firepower, Orlando has the ability to get one. It's just not happening right now. I don't get it. The scoring average is down. You're seeing that in a game of Houston versus Golden State right now, two teams which are known for prolific, high amounts of scoring, in a conference where the average amount of points to win a game is about $125. If you're Orlando, if you're seeing that and you're looking across the conference and you're saying, okay, I think we can score 100, and they don't score 100 in back-to-back games, they're not even getting the 95. I'm saying a lot. I mean, I know the calls aren't going their way, but when the opportunities are there, and I listened to a sequence in the Lakers game, I listened to a sequence in today's game in Houston, and I listened to in 3 other games where teams are getting the offensive rebound, getting 2 or 3 chances at the basket and coming up empty. That's just poor performance, man. I don't know. And if you guys are just tuning in, we're talking about playoffs. We're recapping some of these games today. Talk about what we were looking for in the future. Talking about Magic versus Celtics right now. Boston up now 2-0. So if you guys are just tuning in, thank you for tuning in. This is the TSA Hoop show, yeah, and it's not Sunday. We know. So, if anyone put comments in the comments, it's not Sunday.
Hey, it's
I'm
the playoffs,
aware.
so
It's playoffs. Sorry. I don't know. Rico. I mean, you talked about Paolo Banchero. You saw some of that game. Is there anything that you think that Orlando can do as far as adjustments are concerned?
I mean, I have one of the biggest things is like Tatum wasn't even playing tonight. That was the thing. Tatum didn't play, and granted, game one they put up 86 points. Tonight they put up 100. I think at half it was like 60 to 57, and they just couldn't necessarily like try to find any momentum. I mean, a lot of it is just I want to say it's more on the defensive end. You got to keep Boston as simple as it sounds. You got to keep them from scoring as much, and limit them on the second chance opportunities. But you got guys like Derek White, you got guys like Peyton Pritchard, Sam Hauser, which that's another thing in itself. Like you got all these guys for Boston that are just able to come off the bench and give you like a spark, and then you got the regular guys like Drew Brown, KCP, Horford, like all these other guys on the court. As much as I hate to say it, I it's like we said earlier. I don't want to sit here and say that this is going to be a sweep. I want to say Orlando gets at least one game,
One.
maybe.
Yep.
I'm
Yep.
hoping it's game three. I mean,
Just one.
game three is Friday, so we'll see. But
I mean,
you're at home. You have to at least get one of these two games. I'm not gonna say here and say it's like, oh yeah, it's gonna change the tide of the series, but I
yeah.
figured at least with Tatum being out tonight, you had a chance to steal one on the road in Boston. If you couldn't do that tonight,
All right. I want to say that if the Boston Celtics win the Larry O'Brien this season, here's my issue. I would be completely upset if I'm the league because Boston was able to experiment. Not like they were pushing, not like, oh, we have something, we're going to stick with that. They were able to tweak, experiment, have fun with the roster and the league for 82 games this season. All 82. And here's why I say that. Yes, they won game 2 without Tatum. Every game both games when they started, announcers, everyone has said, we have a fully unlocked 100% Jaylen Brown that has not been available all season. One of your two biggest stars on the team has not been available for 82 games consistently. And for him to be, and for him and for you to be able to say, all right, locks are off, let's go, to be able to sit your other biggest star, I think that's unfair. Okay? I'm not saying as a Lakers fan. I'm saying as a basketball fan. Like, dang, that's overpowered as a mug, man. Like, I'm not trying to gas you up, Deontay, but like for real, that's just
I
that's
think you are. I think you are. I think the whole crowd knows it.
that's just
One of the best duos in the NBA. Come on now.
ooh,
Like, what are
ooh.
we doing?
I got a burning question for you, D.
Go ahead. Shoot.
Does Missoula act like somebody's uncle?
I mean,
Get yourself up off the floor, talking to Tatum like he.
while I do understand that the extent of Tatum's injury resulted in him being out,
Yeah.
like I don't know, like I just kind of like this approach by Missoula because players tend to flop a lot, and I'm like, all right, like yeah, you're on the like, come on, get up, like
Yeah.
come on, dude, like you're in the NBA, get
Be a
up.
big boy. Big boy. Come on.
You're a big you're a big man. Get up.
Like
There's no
I tell my baby
reason.
girl.
Like even if the foul is not
Yeah.
as hard as it seems, like come on, son, get up, go
Yep.
make your 3 throws, and then get back on the court. It's as simple as that. But
Yep.
however, yes, in hindsight, I mean Tatum was. Tatum had his wrist, and he hurt his wrist, and
Yeah.
caused him to be out tonight. It's unfortunate, but
Yeah.
injuries happen.
But he had today off, and you guys don't play again
Until Friday.
Until Friday,
Yes.
which is a good amount of time to rest. It's not really. I don't expect him to be 100% or be able to be completely in shooting form. But even in that first game, He didn't make a lot, but he definitely affected the game. So I think that's absolutely insane that he was able to do that. Shout out to Tatum. Hopefully he gets 100%. Speaking of players that are out, game going on right now. Want to go ahead and segue real quick into that.
I think I know which game you're talking about.
Houston back up by it's like 18 right now, 20 or now 20 against the Warriors. Jimmy Butler went down in the second quarter with the tailbone injury. So I don't know if you go back and see that. Houston had from the jumps turned it up. I was listening in on my drive back home, and so it looks like Houston may come away with this one. So they're going to be able to split their series and be 1-1 going back to San Francisco later this week. But the dynamic of and the effect of Jimmy Butler it's apparent right now. So you can definitely see where. Yeah, maybe this Golden State team is on its last legs. Maybe we're starting to see the change of the helm of some teams, but the effect of Jimmy Butler is real. Just the gravity that he has and the amount of effect that he has on the team. But also conversely, this Rockets team that initially came out and acted and played like some scrubs, as one of our co-hosts, our colleagues, Rick would say, because that's his team. The team just flat out played bad. Best player, one of the best players, toughest players on the team, of course, Aquaman, Steven Adams. He probably doesn't like being called Aquaman, by the way. Just like Andre Iguodala does not like being called AI or Iggy.
I mean, he
Dre.
shouldn't have came out looking like the dude. I don't know what to tell you.
He didn't. He didn't. When he started, he looked like my nephew. Okay, he had no beard. He had that kind of like just in high school, My Chemical Romance kind of haircut, and then he grew it. Okay, but yeah, the Rock, he definitely was tough. Did some great rebounding in that team. Had like 12 boards or something like that. But now this series looks like it's flipped around. Maybe Rockets take some momentum going into San Francisco for Game 3. This game is just a quarter away from being over. No lead is safe, as we've seen in some of these other series like New York and Detroit. But real quick, fellas, just want to get your thoughts on this series. Who do you have? Rico, I already know who you have because I saw who you picked for the series. But so if you try to lie right now, I will post up your whole bracket. I promise you.
Yeah, so your answer better be correct. Your answer better be correct.
So we're gonna go ahead and put you on the spot, and I'm gonna see if I need to present evidence. Who are you picking for the series, and
you
why?
You ain't gotta put the evidence out there. I already know who I picked. Granted, things have changed. I did pick the Warriors to win the series. I'm gonna say that right now.
Okay.
I'm gonna put it on Front Street. I figure with the addition of Jimmy Butler, Steph Curry, and Draymond Green in the team, I feel like they had a good chance to come into Houston and at least make this a series. I figured 6 games max. Now you look at Jimmy's status. We don't know how long he's going to be out. He got hurt for this game. We don't know what that's going to look like moving forward. Playoff Jimmy is a real thing. If y'all don't know this now, playoff Jimmy is real. I understand Steph is, the babyface assassin. He's one of the greatest players to play the game of basketball, but he is only one man. I don't know if he is capable of backpacking to this magnitude in the playoffs, which is kind of crazy for me to say. I understand he's, had other guys around him to be able to kind of help carry the load, but without Jimmy at this point, depending on what the roster looks like, you have Pods, you have Draymond, who is streaky at times. He's a menace, but you can't really trust him to not get thrown out of the game. Kuminga, who Steve Kerr hasn't been wanting to play down the stretch of the regular season and didn't play him at all the first game. That's a whole nother situation we can get into. Like, I mean, Amin Thompson and Jalen Green, like, they're throwing bodies at Steph every single play, like making sure they're hounding him. Granted, Steph is like conditioned to the max, so he can hold his own. But if you take away Steph, that's pretty much all you got.
Just want to give you guys some added proof. This is my bracket, and yes, I have the Lakers winning it all, but that's just out of complete selfishness. I went the other way. I said Houston. I'm gonna give you my why in a second, but Deontay, who you got in this series?
After let's see, after game 2 tonight, I mean, I feel like it's one of those series where it can go either way. I mean, you have clearly a more experienced team in Golden State going up against this younger team in the Houston Rockets. You know, they're not going to be sleeping dogs lying down. Houston fought back tonight, which is why I appreciate it from the Rockets tonight. Jalen Green probably had one of his best playoff games, playoff performances in, well, since considering I believe this is his first playoff series, if I'm not
Yes,
mistaken.
that's right.
Yes, so
That's right.
of course he's going to learn quickly. He has done everything right since game 1. Like, he turned it around. He played in 30 minutes, 30 points, and yeah, I mean, he's just been one of the catalysts for that young Houston Rockets team, and I absolutely love him for that, you know. Now, when it comes to the outcome of the series, I genuinely don't know. I me I picked the Rockets because, I just want something new. I believe that this young team can take the Warriors to a 7-game series.
You
But
sure
then
that wasn't a
again,
little bit of hate on you that you?
no, it's not.
We already got the true confession not too long ago about your list. This man's got a list of teams
Oh,
that he
yep,
hates.
that's right.
I was like, we're not gonna blow up the list this week.
You sure you wasn't influenced just a little bit?
Mm.
Like, oh, who playing the
Maybe
Warriors?
a tiny bit, okay? Maybe a tiny bit, okay? But in all due seriousness, I believe that this Rockets team can take the Warriors to a 7-game series, even though I don't know why. Like, it feels like, yes, I understand that the Rockets are the 2 seed and the Warriors are the 7th seed. It feels like swapping. If it feels like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, it feels like the number 2 Warriors going up against the number 7 Rockets. That's what it feels like.
I understand that 100%. I think that's why in that series why the Warriors, and I spoke about this last week, that in that series Warriors were naturally favored to beat Houston, and I think
Watch out,
that
Ben Thompson trying to get through.
Let's see.
are you good?
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Yep.
no, yeah, man.
Okay.
Yes,
Yep. We're good. We're
yep.
good.
No, no, it's just no. I figured that was a try to get an update on that game. I was checking in myself. No, so if you go back in history as far as seeding is concerned for a team like the Warriors, their experience won out. I mean, it's really hard to go up against that. I just thought that the way that Udoka had this team playing was very reminiscent of how he had Boston playing on that first championship path run. It didn't come out on top on that, but to be able to go from that to pushing the Rockets to almost getting a play-in seed the season before, and then coming back and saying, "Oh, we're going to run it back. We're just going to add one guy here or there." I think the way he had this team playing. Oh, there he is. There he is. I see. See, the thing is, Iggy is dark, but I can see you smiling still, man. It's scary. We need to add this man on here.
Right.
Oh my gosh. Oh my
Uh-oh.
gosh. There goes that
Here he
man.
comes.
We're about to get to your game in just a second, but I just figured that for this one time, it's the initial round. It's a young man's round. The first round, there's always a puncher's chance. And I think that the Houston Rockets had it, and they're proving that right now tonight. I mean, granted, uh it's padded a little bit with the Jimmy injury, but I mean, these guys are doing exactly what they should have did in the first game. Yeah, experience wise, it definitely feels like the seeds are flopped. I'm right there with you, D. But boy, oh boy, oh boy. Iggy, what up, sir?
Not much, man. Just watching the games, and it was Survivor night, so I had to watch Survivor over here. It's a family show over here, but I hopped
Okay.
back onto the basketball. Unfortunately, I just feel bad for Jimmy, man. That was, I don't know, it was hard to tell how bad that was. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
walking off on his own, but all that weight, all that momentum falling down on the hip, man. You just don't know if you can't move your hip. If your hip gets tightened up,
that's
you're just
it.
not. Yeah, you're not going to be effective in basketball. You can just
It's done.
say injury can't hide, really.
Yeah, it gets worse as you get older, as you play more games. It's just there's no way around it. I don't know. You could put vibranium or whatever in that, and it just wouldn't matter. But that it's hips, it's lower back, it's all the stuff
Mhm.
pivotal to being able to move around. Now that you're here, since we got you on, I think we should just go ahead and just ask, sir, why is this series 1-1?
Wait, the Denver Nuggets Clippers one?
Yes.
I mean, 20, you can't commit 20 turnovers in the playoffs, man.
You can't.
That's just gonna come back and get you. But Kawhi's 1-1, man. I mean, he really is. I don't know that he can like it's crazy when I was listening to the shows today, they're already planning for LAC versus OKC. They're like, you know,
What?
Clippers and Nuggets have already they played each other 6 times, they beat each other 3 times apiece. You
Yeah.
know, and people I think are just so ready to anoint Kawhi again. I just don't get it personally. I think it's going to be another close series. Spreads 5 points, but yeah, I mean, as far as it's 1-1, I mean, you could say the Clippers should have won both of those games. You could have said Denver should have won both of those games. It could go, and you can make a valid case for both of those, but you can't commit like the fact that they only lost by 3 points and had 20 turnovers and got
Yeah.
out rebounded,
Yeah.
that's pretty telling to me. I
That's
think, and then, to just what Hubie Brown says real quick is, the most difficult road game is the first home game back. The Clippers haven't played at home since April 9th, first game in the Intuit Dome. I just, I don't know, man. I think there's a wrong reading on this series.
I agree. I agree. Oh, that's my daughter in the background. This is a live show, man. This is the latest we've been on. Got family. It's supposed to be bedtime. We're doing it all. I'm gonna be right back, but I got something, Iggy, just so that we can talk to the people real quick. We talked a little bit earlier about the clutch player of the year being awarded to Brunson, Jokic being Rico. I think you got the stats on that where Jokic was voted at. Put that
He was
out.
he was second.
Yeah.
I just need your thoughts on that.
I mean, I'm not going to argue that Brunson made some clutch plays for his team. Obviously the Jokic ones stick out in my mind because I was watching them live. But people are just tired of Nikola Jokic. I just kind of think that's bottom line what it is the voters that beat are just got to recognize his greatness, but not ready to give him another accolade, not ready to give him another award. And I don't know why Anthony Edwards was even in there. I can't even think of I can't think of the clutch shot he made, but at the same point, it's like he's the great American hope. So you got to give some kind of accolade to him. You got to give something to him to like boost up, his awards, so to
We
speak. So,
we all completely thought that it was weird. Like it's a weird. It's just a weird. It's a. I don't. There's no way to say it. It's just a weird award. Like
yeah,
what's clutch?
yeah,
Uh,
exactly. What do we define as clutch?
I
Yeah.
mean, because everybody's gonna have their own interpretation of it. So it's like,
I mean, Russell Westbrook hit. I said it. He hit 3 big threes in game one. Why does he not get up there with the votes?
I mean, I don't understand why he didn't get a six man of the year nod. Now, granted, in the second half of the season, last impressions make a big deal, but
Of course.
I mean, he's done so much for the Nuggets, really, man. He really has. So,
I don't know. The whole thing is gonna be weird. We talked about six. We talked about 6 man Pritchard getting it, but your series is 1-1 right now. I'm gonna put your feet to the fire too. All right. What we know who you picked because of how you watch this team. I need to know how the Nuggets not just get past the Clippers, but how they get to the promised land.
Well, one game at a time. It's a cliche, but I do believe that. And I think this Clippers are about to get Wally mopped. I mean, they've been holding Jokic. Jokic had 7 turnovers in game 2. Kawhi had 7 in game 1. How did Kawhi respond? Unbelievable. How is Jokic going to respond? Unbelievably. Like I'm fully expecting a dominating game from Jokic, and it's they have gotten what they wanted without Malone. Like it's not all Jokic, but dang it, like, dude, it's game 3 of a series on the road that you got to get back. He's got to be the guy. Like, we can't have worrying about Gordon get 25 points, worrying about Jamal getting 30 points. Like, it's going to have to start and end with Jokic. He's going to have to be everything to win this game. As far as how they get past the Clippers as a whole, you just got to cut the turnovers down, and man, you got to start making free throws, man. This has been the Achilles heel for the Nuggets all season. They missed 8 free throws in the last game. They just make half of those, and the game's a different story. They're walking out of there 2-0. But they've just like Jokic's free throw percentage dipped like 9 or 8%, but his three
Yeah,
percentage was like if you take away his heaves, he's the top 3 3-point percentage player too, which
that's
he led the league in heaves,
mhm.
which contributed to the clutch player of the year voting. But I think what he did is focused on his threes and stepped away from the free throw. Um, Jamal Murray's is going to be hard to maintain. I think he's in the top 10 all time in the
Mhm.
playoffs free throw percentage. So, he basically can't miss. But Aaron Gordon's improvement, he used to be the guy they foul. Now he's not. They've been fouling Jokic, and he missed like 3 free throws in a row in the fourth quarter, which is a big deal. So those are the 2 things they got to do to get past the Clippers. In all honesty, man, I'm not too worried about OKC because OKC doesn't have like they have a great defense, but they don't have like the big men that like the Clippers have with Powell, with
No,
Zubac, with
yeah,
Leonard. Like James
exactly.
Harden's even big, dude. You can't just be a small guard and move James Harden. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like he's a big boy. So Thunder don't really have that. You look at Jalen Williams. I guess you could call Dort big. After that, they're like, they're tall, but they're not necessarily big. And
No,
Jokic has already wrecked the Thunder in 3 games this year. He's
yeah.
wrecked them.
I
So
think the biggest part of the opposition really is like the biggest opponent, the player right now is Hardenstein for the Oklahoma City Thunder, the weight and height wise. So
yeah.
you're on there. Size and athleticism are probably going to win out. Um, I don't know if you guys have eyes on any other series, Rico. Um, don't worry, I know you itching to talk about it. We're gonna get to us in a minute. We have
No,
we have
I want to kind of just chime in on the Clippers
yeah.
Nugget series real quick. I mean,
Go ahead.
like through the first couple of games, like it's it's like Iggy kind of pointed out. You could see either one of these teams being 2-0 right now. So that's just how evenly matched I feel like the series is. Jokic is already doing what he does best in terms of like being the best player in the series. He's already averaging a triple double through the first couple of games. First 2 games, like I said, have been relatively close. Game 1, Nuggets won in OT by 3. Game 2, they lost by 3 in regulation. So I mean, I feel like you're gonna get a lot of back and forth throughout this entire series. It's damn near impossible, I feel like, to stop Jokic. I mean, he's going to get his shots off. He's going to be able to find other guys that can make plays as far as knocking down shots and other stuff like that. He may throw up a back breaking three that's going to like just deplete you in terms of like your momentum and just any hope that you have left. So I mean, he's going to be an X factor. I'm also going to throw Russell Westbrook into there. I know earlier towards the end of the regular season he was having some issues on some plays, and then turn into the playoffs. He's kind of in the Russ of old, so to speak. Being able to show up, make some good plays. He's knocked down a couple of clutch threes as well. He's played his role well, whether he started a couple times or been coming off the bench. He's going to be one of those guys that's going to be able to come in and play at an MVP like level like he normally used to be. And having that type of guy on this roster is going to be key for them to kind of make it at making a run. So I mean, I understand that they have an interim coach right now, and I feel like some people might have like maybe not have looked at the Nuggets as much of a factor because of that. But at the same time, when you got the roster that they do, and there's a sense of continuity now. There's a sense of like I don't want to say relief, but everybody feels like they can play more freely now that Malone's not there. I mean, Iggy can kind of talk on that a little bit more, but it just seems like everybody's kind of like able to play their role, and everybody's not like walking in just on pins and needles. So, it like I said, it's gonna come down to it as being one of probably the closest series that we will see in the first round, maybe the entirety of the playoffs, in my opinion. Like I said in the group earlier, I am hoping this goes 7 because I want to see the back and forth. Like this is what we live for in the NBA playoffs. Iggy may not as much because he might pull all his hair out. So, but as a fan, as a basketball fan, first and foremost, like this is the type of series I want to see 7 games of personally. So
Well, I mean, in the bubble they played 7. I hate calling it the bubble. In the 2021 playoffs, 2020 playoffs, they called it. It went like Clippers were up 3-1, and that was kind of the emergence of Nikola Jokic, the emergence of Jamal Murray. They go on and beat Utah too. So I mean, get to the Lakers. They don't do so well in that series, but they've already played each other 3 times this decade. So
I'm gonna say
we'll see,
y'all
man.
got y'all's get back at some point. So
I don't know. I would take a Lakers final, man. It's just, the Nuggets just have a hard path to get there. But man,
They really
what
do.
else do you want? You got an opportunity to say, yeah, yeah, we took down the Clippers. Yeah, we took down the probable MVP, and we got a chance to bring it back to LA. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes, man. But like you said, it's I'm not mad if it goes get 7 games. The Nuggets. Jokic and Murray and Michael Porter Jr. have a lot of Game 7 series already together. So I'm just still heartbroken after the last Game 7 with the 20-point. You blow a 20-point lead.
God, man. Yeah,
So,
I was like, I mean, Rico said it. Fight back. What? Like everything? We're
yeah.
missing everything right now?
Nobody made a shot. Michael Porter couldn't make a shot. I just
Nobody?
think it's like what's kind of happened. I don't know. D left, but Boston's starting to experience it. Brown's hurt. Tatum's hurt. When you play these long seasons, I don't care if you're Superman, like Tatum, who doesn't want to miss. You're going to get hurt, man. Like it's just
Yeah.
it's just probability. I mean, you
Yeah.
play 100 games a year, you play, 98 games a year times 2. Guess what? Now you just need a 0.5% chance of getting hurt.
Mhm.
And that can happen. So, but
It,
go
all
ahead.
right. No, I was just gonna say you're 100% correct. It's hard to win an Ironman challenge with the utilization that the stars have. I think maybe if you're Zubac, you're up there and you get that. But if you look at the plethora of stars that are getting through and are establishing themselves and or continuing to be effective in the playoffs, maybe one of them has gotten to 70, 78 games. It's hard to be the alpha or the beta and get all 82. It's just too hard.
Right. Right. And then 16, at least 16 in the playoffs, usually more, so.
If you want to ask your star player to play 82 games, ask your CEO if he has perfect attendance.
Yeah, exactly.
Look at him dead in the eyes. Say, do you have a perfect attendance record?
no.
I saw you
Show
playing golf on your day off. Yeah.
up. Jumping off of this series here, I want to talk about real quick. I just ask this question. Just throw it out there real quick. Are there series that you guys are just like, let's just turn it off?
I already told you about mine.
Indiana, Milwaukee, for
I
sure.
told you about mine. Hey,
This
what?
I picked the Bucks, and then I picked the Bucks. I wanted to tell Deontay while he was on here. I picked the Bucks to beat Boston.
Oh, you wild.
Hmm.
No, because you talked about that. Like I'll say this. I picked the Bucks to win the series, and then they come out and do this in the first 2 games. Dame played in game 2. Granted, I know he's coming off of his deep vein thrombosis. I think he had like 14 points in that game, and Giannis is backpacking like usual. And I'm like, bruh, I, I said this. I'm gonna put this on the record right now while we actually got cameras and stuff like that. I don't know how much longer of a time he has in Milwaukee, and some of these other teams might be trying to make some calls this offseason and seeing what they can throw at Milwaukee to be like, yo, what you want for Giannis. They might have to throw the farm. I don't care, but I don't know how much longer he has there. I mean, man dropped like 30 plus points in both games, and they're down 0-2. Like, and this Indiana team is scrappy. Like they don't play around, they scrappy. So that's kind of how I see it. And then the 1-8 matchup, like what
Yeah.
if you were getting blown out by 50 points, I'm not gonna sit here and watch the rest of the series. I'm sorry. Like I know you talked about this, JR. I know we talked about it. I'm like, bro, I'm not gonna sit here and subject myself to watch Memphis getting dog walked for 4 straight games. I don't know if we not finna. I don't think we finna see OKC come back to OKC unless they're getting ready for the next round. We're
Yeah.
not getting 5 games. I feel like they finna go ahead and handle business in the next 2, get them rooms out and rest up and figure out who they got to play in the next round between Denver and the Clippers. Like
Memphis made
I
it a
just
game,
don't
though.
see it.
Memphis made it a game in game 2. So I mean, it's not like I mean, it's one thing for 51.
50 though, bro. They were
50.
down by 50.
51.
458 at one
Dude,
point in game
you're
one.
when
I,
you Jaren Jackson and Zach 80 combined for 8 points. I mean, that's like, and those are your second best players, dude. Like, you're not going to win anything. Like, and they're not going to run into another team like that. The second best scorer on the team is not going to score 4 points regardless.
To be fair, Memphis does not have a like. You want to talk about health and effect? Ja Morant is just playing for his. He's playing for his life right now because he's not healthy.
Yeah.
He hasn't been healthy for a month and a half. Okay, maybe longer. I'm sorry. Like Triple J, as good as he's been, the best, most consistent and available player on that team has been Desmond Bain.
Desmond Bain, yeah. And his consistency is questionable from an offensive standpoint.
Saying though, man, like the only firepower that they have right now is literally in Desmond Bain's biceps, and that's as far as it goes. It's not fair. It's not. We know this team has double-digit beat darn near the whole league.
I mean,
Yeah, I guess
that's the way they set up their roster. I don't know, man.
I mean,
I'm sorry, man. Like I told you this, and I know I'm putting myself out there because I said I was gonna pick. I picked Milwaukee to win the series in the bracket.
Yep.
And then I talked in the chat. It's like, oh, Memphis is gonna get swept. And then I doubled down saying Milwaukee and Memphis finna get swept. I'm gonna look crazy saying this right now. I don't even care. I need Milwaukee to fight back. Dang, you gotta. I'm not even gonna put that on Dang because he's just coming back. Yeah, I need everybody else to help Giannis out. Kuzma went 0 for game 1 and pulled a damn Tony Snell. Let's go back to that. 21 points. He was like 0 for 2 from 3. I think 0 for 12 from the field. I'm like, bro, you didn't hit a single bucket in game 1.
Not one.
And I'm like, ugh. And
We've
then
seen
game 2, I think he came out, dropped 12
before,
points. I'm like, cool. Like, but bro, I need everybody else to step up. Bobby Portis, Brooke Lopez. You know who they miss right now? Who will be making the impact right now? He's sitting at home in Washington right now. I bet you they still wish they had Chris Middleton.
Middleton, man.
I bet you
mean,
they
dude,
wish they still had Middleton right
Bobby Porter scored 28 points and they still lost the game, man. They lost it by 8.
now. I'm just saying.
I think part of the issue with that was the fact that Chris, although he's got the skills, he didn't have the availability. I mean, we're talking about availability throughout this whole thing. You gotta have bodies, and I think that as useless as Kuzma may be offensively right now, he's still a big body that's able to at least be in front of somebody. So I think that's what Doc is thinking right now.
I mean,
But
go ahead.
No, I just don't watch it. Don't watch it. Just don't watch it.
I've been defending Doc for a long time. I still think he's under too much scrutiny, but I just think his moment in the sun is kind of gone. Like, I don't think he's like been able to adapt with the new changes of the NBA, and it just makes you realize what what Coach Bud was actually able to do. He was able to get the best out of Chris Middleton. He was able to get the best out of Giannis Antetokounmpo. He was able to get the best out of Drew Holiday from an offensive defensive standpoint. You know, he's Brooke Lopez has always been pretty good offensively, but he was able to retain him as well. And coaches, you know, I get it. Players win games, coaches lose them, and that's just in the NBA. I don't know if that there is a more true sport to that statement, but you know, credit to where it's due because Giannis has been saved by the fact he's been hurt the past 2 seasons. Now he doesn't have that excuse. Now he's the MVP. He's been a top three MVP for 4 years. You got to. That's what I said with Jokic, man. No excuses. You're the best player on the team. I get he's backpacking. I get he's doing it all by himself. You got to do more, man. I know 18 rebounds, 34 points. I don't know what more he can do, but you got to figure out how to get your other players involved early so that they feel confident. And you know but when I look at this, I mean Kyle Kuzma, Brook Lopez, Damian Lillard, Teron Prince, Gary Trent Jr., Kevin Porter Jr. Who's going to step up and who's going to be able to step up and do that? Because it should be Dame, but I'm not sure Dame's 100% healthy or 100% in game shape. You know?
Yeah, I don't. I
I
think
wish it was, but
Yeah, me too.
I don't know if this team might have like sacrificed and prayed to the wrong basketball god when they got their championship because it's been all bad since then. Like just the fall off has been cataclysmic at worst. I mean, yeah, you can point to specific injuries and everything like that, but I think if you're still going to retain Brooke Lopez, you have to know that Brooke is going to actually get something, give you something. And Indiana right now is just these. What makes me mad is that they're doing it's against the Pacers. If they were getting beat against a team like Detroit, I would say Detroit's a younger, higher paced team that just wants it more. But they're doing it against this Pacer team that is. I don't care if you guys record this and bring this back to me at the end of the season if Indiana wins it all. Indiana is the worst team to be a front runner in this entire playoffs. You put this team up against any other team. You can even put them up against Miami. They will lose.
I don't know about
Okay.
that. They're the most athletic team. They're the
that's
most
so.
athletic team out there, man. Listen to
They,
this. Pascal, 24 points. Naismith, 16 points. Turner, 15 points. Halliburton, 21 points, 12 assists. Nemhard, 17 points. Benedict Mathurin, 14 points. You got right there 7
there's a
players
reason, there's a
above 14
reason for that.
points.
There's a reason for that. It's because Milwaukee is the worst defensive rebounding team in this series, and because they can't rebound the ball well, Swiss cheese, balls up in the air. All you got to do is hustle for it.
Yeah. Everybody does have rebounds that played in Indiana. Everybody. So
Everybody. So what are they doing? They're getting second chance points. That's how they're beating this team. They're beating this team with pure effort, which is absolutely crazy to say of a Doc Rivers led. We gotta move on series. We gotta
yeah,
move
let's
on.
go.
I don't want to keep smashing on. God, okay. Detroit versus New York. Detroit came alive. Game 2 came back, did what they were supposed to do. Game 1 got rid of some of their late game mistakes. Shout out to Cade Cunningham showing up. Shout out to them not having to rely on simply Tim Hardaway Jr. To carry them. And
Dennis S.
man, Dennis Schroeder.
Shout out to him.
Shout out to him.
Shout out Dennis.
He shows up sometimes, you just got to get him away from Darvin Ham and he'll be fine.
FIBA World Cup champ, bro. Like that's what Detroit needed. I know with Cade being young, with Duran being young, they put all these veterans around him. And Dennis isn't scared of the moment. You know what I'm saying? Like he may not be considered the best point guard, but he's not intimidated by the moment. And that's why who took that last shot? Dennis. Who gave him the ball? Cade. You know what I'm saying? Like, and Cade's coming along, dude. And I think the Knicks are just an overhyped market. I don't think they're that. Carl Anthony Towns is already like moping around, bro. Didn't get one field goal attempt in the fourth quarter, right?
Nope.
I
But
mean,
if you, the thing is, he was he was effective in the early part of the first quarter, and then it just stopped being effective. He stopped going up with the ball. He stopped being powerful with the ball. He just stopped in the second to third quarter. I was listening to this game. Okay,
I mean, he's saying he got manned by Duran. I have a hard time believing that, man.
I don't
Come on now,
know.
bro.
No, if
Yeah.
you watch the game, he had plenty of opportunities to score. It just stopped. Like, cat, like, bro, you're probably the most important player on that team.
Yeah.
Don't fall the way of Joel Embiid.
I mean, he's going to be second team All NBA probably. I think he was
Yeah.
the second best center, but
Yeah,
I just think Detroit's better, man. Detroit should be up 2-0. There's no way around it. They sure are.
You're
They're the
right. They
better
should.
team.
They should. Very much so.
you're absolutely right. There's just that rookie mistakes, giving up that 20 point, allowing New York to go on a 20-3 run in the fourth quarter. There's this that's they learned. Now they got to do it again. I picked Pistons to come out of this series, and I'm looking to be rewarded. We're not talking about Cleveland versus the Heat, by the way. Not. I'm gonna just
JB Bickerstaff, though, man, he deserves credit.
Yeah,
He's
we
done
gonna let
He-
we gonna let that one rock. I don't think I've actually. That was crazy enough. You know, Jay, I was talking about which of these series that you would think is like, oh yes, over. I haven't even seen any of the first two games from Cleveland and Miami. Every other series I've watched at least one game or at least some snippets of it. Cleveland, Miami, I ain't seen not one bit, not one. And I'm just like, well, damn. I was like, okay.
I thought Miami would show up a little bit better tonight, but Cleveland's the number one team for a reason, man. They're good, dude.
They
They're
made it close
legit.
at the end.
They're
That was about
legitimately
it.
a good team. Yeah.
I mean, Miami's doing. They got into the playoffs by the skin of their teeth in the play-in, so they're thankful for that. But it's I think it's gonna be curtains for them relatively soon, and they're gonna have to start figuring out what life after Jimmy's gonna be like. Actually, once the
Mhm.
playoffs are over with. So I'm curious to see what Pat Riley's gonna do in this offseason, what that team's gonna look like, what moves they make. If I'm not saying they would, but if they try to get into the Kevin Durant sweepstakes, which I feel like we're all gonna be watching that to see how that plays
Yeah.
out.
Hot
And
name this summer.
yeah.
quick update. Houston up 15.
Got to
Yeah,
be
that's
just a couple minutes left, right?
10. No, it's just ending right now. It's literally 8 seconds left.
Yeah.
109-94. Looks like it's gonna be the final score of the Houston versus Golden State game. So that series is now at 1-1, going back to Houston going back to San Francisco for game 3. So we'll be able to update that and follow up on that for you guys on Sunday. Last series we got to talk about for the night.
We knew what we was doing.
We got lucky. We're lucky it's the Wolves. We will be down 0-2 against just about any other team. I'm just going to say it right now.
I'm not even gonna say and disagree. Like I really can't. I watched that game from start to finish. I'm saying like, damn, I need to go to sleep. Like, no, I'm gonna watch this. I'm gonna thug this out. Boy, I tell you that damn second half about had me ready to pull all my hair out. Luka came out hot. I was talking about it. He was literally head hunting Rudy Gobert on the perimeter. He's like, nah, right here. Everybody get out the way. You, me, right here. He was not playing around. But I will say that does get a little bit stagnant at points. You can't sit here and do that the entire game. Like we got to get ball movement, running around. We got to get the players moving. You can't be sitting here on an island and everybody else is gonna be in the corner and paint. Like you can't do that. I understand you can cook him. That's fine. I don't need that every possession going out the court. All right, let's make that abundantly clear. Second, go ahead.
How else is he supposed to get double-digit assists?
He didn't get there. He got one away.
Listen, man. Listen, it is what it is, though. But secondly, Jackson Hayes, for the love of God, can you please stop getting him in foul trouble, bro? Like, I understand what Rob Pelinka, Jenny Buss, everybody in the Lakers front office. For the love of God, this offseason, get a damn big man. I'm not playing around this time. Like, I understand. We got Jackson Hayes. Cool. I like Jackson Hayes. He gives us great energy off the bench. Like he's starting, but he gives us great energy here and there. I'm like, bro, I need somebody else in there. I need somebody else in there. Austin Reeves, bro. LeBron is 40 years old. He is not in his early 20s. Stop trying to throw him an oop every damn time down the court. Like it's a couple lot. I'm like, bro, give him a bounce pass. Give him a check, bro. I don't need. He ain't trying to cut back.
We're gonna
He is 40.
We're gonna push out some more thoughts later on the TL. We're up against time, y'all. That's it for the night. I didn't think we'd be able to push an hour out of this show. This is crazy. You already know who I'm picking. Iggy, who'd you pick out of this series?
I can't remember. I'm pretty sure I picked the Lakers though.
I'm pretty sure we all picked the Lakers, but we'll see. We'll see you guys again Sunday. Okay, bright and early. You know what time it is, 7:30 Pacific Standard Time.
Just real quick, I want to say Luka had 12 rebounds. Nobody on the Minnesota Timberwolves had more than 6.
That's crazy.
I don't know how and LeBron had 11. I just don't know if that's sustainable. That's one thing that scares me.
Yeah,
but I really don't know who's going to win the series, dude. I really have no clue.
We'll see. All right, thanks, fellas. Get some sleep. I gotta go put mine to bed. Appreciate y'all for showing up. You know where it's at, sportsaffiliation.com. Peace.